Sixth graders, you are watching the screencast on how to make a Google form. So, as I told you, hopefully ahead of time, what you're going to be doing is actually creating a form during the screencast. So, at various times during the screencast, watch as much as you can watch at any given time and then click pause so that you can go back and actually create the form as you watch the movie, the lesson tutorial. So, remember, digest only as much as you can and then go back and try to follow along and actually create the form in real time as I describe it. So anyhow, we've kind of talked a little bit about Google Forms, and really it's an awesome tool. They're used to gather information and can be done online in a real kind of a quick and easy environment for gathering data. So anyhow, we're going to create a form that will collect data on what a person's favorite book is and what their favorite movie is and even their favorite television show. And you're going to learn how to create these items one by one. So with no further ado, let's have you log into your Google Drive. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and start creating the form as I do. All right, remember, click pause as needed in order to follow along. So anyhow, the first step in making a Google form is to go to create and then choose form. And you're going to have the same form that I have. Everyone's going to have the same form when this is all over with. So as the form takes shape, you'll see how you can tweak some things and make it look kind of unique to you. So anyhow, at the top where it says, there's got this series of these check boxes. We're going to require for today that Brading Township Schools login to this form as checked. That means only people in the Brading Township domain can take the form or take part in gathering the data. So anyhow, we're going to check some of these other boxes too. We're going to automatically collect the respondent's username so that there is no anonymity. Somebody can't go in and do something to your form without being identified. And as a courteous thing, we're going to show the progress bar so they know how many questions they got to answer, and we're only going to allow one answer per person. So that makes it so that they can't go in there and answer a question more than one time. So anyhow, let's get started. At the top, we'd like to title our form, and why don't we call this? Let's call it favorite book, movie, and TV show. And you're going to use title case as I did. You're capitalizing the important words and the first and last word and only those words. So the first thing we do is we get to put in our first, we get to put in a form description. That would be kind of nice too, describe exactly what we're doing. So for the description, why don't we put something like, please answer all of the questions, to give them a little tip on what they're supposed to do, and then click submit. And you'll see how that works out later on when you actually start gathering data. But at this point, we're just going to try to type in our questions one by one and create our form. So let's go to our first question. In our first question, we're going to have the user answer in their own words what their favorite book is. So this is our question we're going to ask of them. What is your favorite, got to spell it right, favorite book? Not Bobo, question mark. And then if you want them to have some help text, you can. That's just stuff that shows up after the question. And I think it might be nice to put in some help text. It says something like, please type in your answer below, because we're going to give them an area where they can type in their response. All right. The question type, this is not a multiple choice question. Instead, this is called a text question. Okay, you can see all the different types of questions you can ask somebody. Multiple choice, paragraph text for bigger questions. You're going to use a couple of these different ones as we build this form. So we've asked them what their favorite book is. We've given them help that says, please type in your answer. And then the text box is going to show up like this. And when they're finished, they'll have an answer typed in. And we are going to require that they answer this. Okay? Then our first question is pretty much done. Okay? And we're only going to have, I think, end up with 4 questions. So let's go on and add our next item. Okay? And from the drop down, these are, again, the types of questions you can add. And so I'm going to look back at my notes here. I think our next question is going to be kind of a yes or no thing. We want to follow up with them and ask them if it's part of a book series. You know, some series come out and people like to read the trilogy and whatnot. So anyhow, for this next type of question, we're going to use what's called a checkbox. Okay, that's the type of question this is going to be. And really, there are going to be two choices, yes or no. So you can see our first question takes shape. All right. Our next question is your book part of a series? Question mark. Okay. And then for the help text, we can just tell them check yes or no. Okay, and this is a checkbox style question. So you can see you can have as many options as you want. For us, all we need is two choices. One, yes, and no here. Now, I'm not going to go to the third box because we don't have a need for three, right? It's just yes or no. Okay, and like we did before, we're going to make this a required question. All right, so now we've got two questions of our form done. Okay, I want to go to our next question and ask them what their favorite movie is. And again, this will be a text question, so they can type in their answer. Okay, so we've got their favorite book question. We've asked them if it's part of a series. We're going to go to our next question, which is an open-ended question, so it's text. And we're going to ask them, what is your favorite movie? Question mark. And for the help text, let's do it like we did before. Please type in your answer below. Okay, and again, this is a text question, and we're going to require it. Okay, and now for the fun part, let's add a new type of question. Okay, question number 4, which is kind of related to question number 3, is going to be what's called a grid. And with a grid, we can do something like ask them how many times they've seen the movie, and that's kind of what we're doing here. So we're going to go with a grid question. You'll see how the grid questions work here as we build it. All right. Question title. How many times have you seen the movie? Question mark. Okay. And then for the help text, we can just simply tell them, please check one. Okay. And this is a grid question. And so what we want to have is, let's see here. For the grid type, the row 1 label, I think what we'd like to put in here is another help text box. It says, please check one. And then these are our answers that we can give them. Okay, so they've seen the movie maybe 1 time or 2 times. And I don't know how many we think we should give them. 3 times? Some people have seen a movie many times. Let's give them 4 times, if I can type correctly. And then finally, our last choice will be, let's say 5 or more times. Boy, they've really liked the movie if they've seen it that many times. So, and we're going to require 1 response per row. Okay, and so now we can see what our form looks like after we put in our last question. Okay, let's put in one more question, and this question is going to be a text question. And let's just ask them kind of an open-ended, what is their favorite TV show? Question mark. And then we'll put in our help text. Here's a tip. You know, you're going to put in, please type in your answer below, but, well, let's just type it. I was going to say copy and paste it, but type in your answer below. Okay, and it's a text question. We are going to require it. Okay. Before we're done here, let's see here. Our confirmation page, this is what people would see when they take the form. Your response has been recorded, publish and show a link to I don't think we're going to check any of those boxes right now. I think our form is just about done here. And this is the fun part where you can actually close out your form and see what it looks like. So I'm going to click on done. Okay, and that's what we should do. And then this is what our form looks like. Okay, there are our questions. Okay, Now, this is kind of a blah theme, so what I'd like you to do is to go up to where it says change theme. Notice you can edit your questions too. You can, create your form and edit it anytime you want. From the change theme box right here, let's choose the one that is looks like a book. Okay, customize at the fair, birthday now. I'm going to choose something that's fitting for our form here. Fireworks, forks and knives, game night, homework. Okay, library might be nice because you're really asking them about books and stuff. So that would be an appropriate theme to use. Okay, and look at it, it decorates it, changes your fonts and stuff for you. So this is really cool. It tells us that this person's username is going to be recorded when they answer their question. So this is exactly what your form would look like when people actually took the form. Okay. If you want to see what it would look like in a live form, if we click the button right there that says View Live Form, you'll kind of see it without all of the add-ons and stuff. So this is just a way to kind of preview your form. And then, if you have a mistake on it, you can check it out. It kind of is ready to go. If you wanted to test your own form, you could take it yourself. Just type in a couple answers here and click Submit. Okay, and then tomorrow in the screencast, we're going to teach you how to analyze those results. So hopefully you've had some success getting your feet wet and learning how to make a basic form. Okay, for experts, okay, if you want, why don't you try to create another question down below, either a checkbox style, or you could do a grid if you wanted, and make the question maybe related to their favorite TV show. Okay, or maybe you can come up with a brand new question. So yeah, let's make that part of your exercise here. You come up with one more question that you could ask somebody related to our theme here. We're talking about books and movies and TV shows. So give it a try, and then you'll end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 questions instead of 5. So, all right, 6th graders, hope you enjoyed the screencast and you have an idea how to make a Google form. Good job.